Hello, all, and thank you for joining me on this episode 3 of Tour of the Citadel. Today I'm going to be chatting with my friend Reflex, who I actually met through this company. He's kind of a friend of a friend. He's the odd man in the sense that we haven't known each other for years. So this is going to be a good chance for both of us to kind of get to know each other a little bit. So I'm just going to start off with some basic stuff like I did with the other creators, with your name, Reflex. Where did it come from, and what does it mean to you?
Okay, well, I'm like notoriously really bad with names. Ask like Brandon or anyone else that I play with. Brandon being True Shiz, who's also in Blacksteel Citadel. That it when I'm like creating a character in a new game, the thing that takes me the longest every single time is coming up with a name. I'll just be like sitting there thinking about it for the longest time, and that's like what I originally did to come up with this name when I was getting into content creation for the first time when I was like maybe 13 years old in WoW or something, and I just thought it like sounded cool, so it kind of stuck. But like later on, it's developed more meaning for me in that like when I'm really invested in the game and I'm super focused, like my mind kind of becomes like blank, and it's just my hands and are is moving in like reaction, and it goes from there.
So you're saying your mind kind of goes blank, and gaming for you turns more into your muscle memory and your reflexes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I can get behind that. There's a lot going on. Sometimes it's good to just shut the brain off and let your body go to work, right? Like you've been playing games for however long. I'm sure you know what you got to get done.
Yeah, like I started. Oh my God, probably with my sister back when I was like 7 or 8 in the PS2. So it's been a minute.
Yeah, pretty sure we're all kind of in the same boat. Like we've been playing games for pretty much as long as we could have held a controller.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So, moving on from that, in the intro, I kind of touched up on how we met, through Brandon, our friend, True Shiz. So, instead of rehashing that, why don't we talk a little bit about how you met Brandon?
Okay, so funny story with how I met Brandon. I actually met him through like a friend of a friend when I like first started WoW, which was basically my first PC game. I was like doing a free trial, so if you don't know, you can only get to like level 20 in that. So after level 15, you can start doing dungeons. So that's what I did, and like met this girl named Taylor in one of those dungeons, and we just ended up like I don't know, just talking to each other a lot, getting like a good like friendship going on, and we just like talk in Skype calls, do more dungeons together. But then like eventually I got to like level 20, my free trial ran out, but I was interested in getting the game. So I end up like getting the game probably a week later. It takes me I don't know, a few days to download because my internet was complete trash back then. It was not great. So after all of this, I like finally get back in the game and end up like finding her a few days later, and we just like start talking again, and later on met Brandon through her as like just one of her friends that we were playing with at the time, and we've just been ganging ever since. Probably about like a decade or something.
Damn, nice. Yeah, I also met Brandon through WoW. It was back in Cataclysm, I believe. I actually don't remember which one of my brothers introduced us, but I was pretty sure it was Dave, who's gonna go by Staged if he ever gets free time and joins us.
Okay.
I remember back then he was a warrior. He was actually one of the ones that taught me how to PvP back in the day.
Oh shit, yeah, that's what I was originally into in WoW, but then like it got more into like a lot of the PvE side, especially in Legion. I was like I got a rank 1 mythic Goldan kill as a DK.
Oh, damn, very nice. So, transitioning now into games, we're talking a lot about World of Warcraft. So, what kind of games and content are you hoping to create with us?
Okay, well, I think for the longest time the two games that I was going back and forth with were League and World of Warcraft, but lately, at least before WoW Classic, I started like shifting away from League of Legends and getting interested in a lot of other games. Like I still play League as one of my main games, but I'll play Apex Legends from time to time, Path of Exile, especially like the new stuff that I see being announced. It's especially making me more interested in the game. Recently, I'd also say that like WoW Classic has like had my interest, and like Warframe, we're talking about like extremely recent. But like outside of the game, cooking and like making and like creating recipes, I'm like super passionate about because like cooking and like the culinary side, like I've been super interested in what I originally wanted to like do with my life since like ninth grade, and around like I don't know junior senior year that kind of like shifted over to pre-med, but it's still just been like a passion project that I just like keep coming back to time after time.
Fair enough. So, building up on the cooking, because that might confuse some viewers, a lot of people are probably thinking this is going to be a gaming only channel. I actually very specifically stayed away from calling this a gaming channel, and I'm calling it a content creation organization. A, because it's kind of fun to say, and B, because while most of us are gamers, most of the people that I know are primarily gamers, we're not strictly gamers, right? Like, Reflex is talking about he wants to do a cooking show. Absolutely. It's content. People will watch that.
Yeah, there's like a lot of facets to people's personality. They aren't just interested in gaming. They have like other things that make them interesting and unique as a person. I think it's cool that we can show that off through this too.
So, what made you want to join us? Obviously, you know Brandon. You've known Brandon for, like you said, probably about a decade now. But you're talking about joining an organization full of people that you don't know. You might have heard stories about from Brandon from time to time. But overall, like, didn't talk to you before like a week ago.
Yeah, it was like something I was always low key interested in, like back a long time ago, probably when I was like maybe 13, 14. I remember kind of like downloading like some free editing software and just like pasting together some like just terrible YouTube videos that like I still enjoyed making, and like it got my foot in the water. And like later on in school, they'd have you edit a video, and it just that kind of interested me a little bit. But like now lately he's been interested in a lot of the streaming side, so I've been like helping him with that, and like we'll be on like Mixer and like co-stream together or like stuff like that. It's just like really made me interested in getting my like voice out there and like creating things, because it's like now that I've been in the gaming community so long, it's almost like my way of like giving back and like being part of the community after like being a part of it for so long, especially during its upbringing.
Fair enough. I'm definitely not mad at that. Like, I kind of feel the same way. A couple years ago, I downloaded some, I'm gonna say some questionable software. Like, it wasn't the greatest. I think it was the equivalent of like Windows Movie Maker, trying to make YouTube videos, and it was definitely a rough time. But it was a lot of fun to do. Just the videos were definitely very rough around the edges.
Yeah, exactly. Like if no one sees those videos again, I'll be happy.
Yeah, pretty much. So I think that about wraps up all the questions that I had for you. But is there anything else that you wanted to like point out to the viewers? Anything you want to say?
In the future, my most current content that I'm interested in making is probably doing a jungling series for League to kind of like give you something to practice during the preseason and like prepare for ranks starting up after that. I'm also gonna be releasing a cooking video soon as I like develop my own original recipe. I'm also getting like more like streaming and content creation equipment so I can utilize that for these videos.
Very nice. So, I would just like to take a moment at the end here to go ahead and thank all of the viewers that we've had. Over the past 2 days, we've reached almost 100 views on the channel. That's pretty much blown away my expectations. So, just thank you, everyone, for just giving the videos a watch through. Thank you, everyone, for the feedback. You guys might not be commenting on videos, but I'm getting messages on Facebook or text messages or even like my roommates talking to me. I do appreciate that. And I hope you guys stick around, and we're definitely trying to be in this for the long run.